G'day folks, Andy here from McDowall Manor. So, winter in the subtropics. As you can see, we're getting cherry tomatoes. I'm still in the habit of pulling them off a bit early. That's because they were getting stung by fruit fly, which has stopped happening now. So I've really got to try and get myself back in the habit of letting them ripen properly on the vine. Madagascar beans are coming in. I'll show you that plant in a minute. I'm sprouting some pineapples, and I've actually got one in the ground that seems to be going quite well. Yes, you just cut the top off and shove it in the water. Chili's going well. We'll have a quick look at that as well. And I've been making sourdough. This is an olive sourdough. You can see just there's an olive. I know it's a funny shape, but it tastes bloody good, and that's the main thing. So I'm in the little dog's yard. You can see the Madagascar bean has gone off. Holy mackerel, over this side it's really gone well. I've got one on the other side in the big girl's yard as well. That's all Madagascar bean there. So it's doing really well. If you look, hopefully you can see that there's passion fruit galore. I'm doing really well in passion fruits at the moment as well. This beetle, it's near the Madagascar bean. It's going exceptionally well as well. That sounds a bit odd. Exceptionally well as well. There's where I took a lot of those cherry tomatoes off. That banana has really boomed. I'll show you back, looking back the other way, because otherwise you'll go blind. The sun's there. What's also going exceptionally well at the moment, I mentioned, was those bell chilies. They've finally stopped being stung, which is really good. I went for a couple of months there where I was virtually just happened to pitch them all out in the bin because I couldn't get one to survive the stinging. There's that banana. I don't know if you guys remember when I put him in, but it wasn't that long ago, so geez, he's grown well. He's also got 2 suckers now, which is good. It looks like I did actually manage to kill Rosie's pawpaw. I wouldn't have thought it was possible. I shouldn't laugh. The only reason I'm laughing is because I don't eat the crap. But you'll never guess what. Yes, there's a new pawpaw sprung up in a pot. So there's obviously been pawpaw seeds in our compost, and the compost got used in the pot. So we have a volunteer pawpaw. I spotted another. Now there's a couple down there too. I'll dig them out probably and pot them up. That's another cherry tomato further down the yard. You can see I'm getting a pretty good run off it as well. There's a few there I'll probably come back and get later. Oh, there's one that's been stung. I spoke to her. Actually, it might have been chewed, that one, by the look of it. Mouse has had a crack at it. This poor little lots of lemons, honestly. It struggles, but it produces fruit. God bless its cotton socks. That little lemon looks about ripe to pick. He's actually coming back. We've been giving him a bit of tender love and care. If you look down the bottom there, you can see the new growth. So I'm really happy about that because I quite like that plant. Blimey, there's passion fruit. Pots of ginger, they're going gangbusters. Can you see? That's a flower stalk coming up. There's that pineapple I was talking to you about that I'd cut the top off and planted. He's been in a couple of weeks. He's going well. That's snow peas there beside him. And yes, more passion fruit. And more cherry tomatoes. There's a couple of little self-seeded marigolds down there. Oh, the other thing that's going absolutely crazy is this cranberry hibiscus. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a flower out to show you. I was going to show off. It's got quite a pretty flower. But yeah, it's gone all over the shop. Rosie pulled it back off the neighbour's roof. That's why it's over there, so I'll have to give it a hack back. That's a bit of a warning, I guess. You keep on top of these things or they go a little out of control. Look down the bottom, you can see there's a million of them coming up. So I'll be potting them up and giving them away. There's a couple of more advanced ones down there near the parsley. That sweet leaf in the back there, it should be starting to lose its leaves soon, but of course the winter's been so stupid hot over here that is showing no signs whatsoever. The pomegranates have still got all their leaves as well. Just as an aside, I had a birthday the other week, and my lovely daughter gave me a red scented lime, which I'm very excited about. That'll be a native. They're bloody thorny things, but the fruit they produce is just fabulous. There's some quails. I bring bring them out in the day. If I don't put the lid on now, they jump out. They're just out there to acclimatise. I take them in at night because it does get a little cool now. There's the other Madagascar bean that I was talking about. I got quite a good crop off him. I was quite happy with that. I used him in a stew that was really nice. The old lettuces are coming on all right. Happy about that. The grapefruit's looking pretty damn good. Mandarins. We're about to get a couple of mandarins. What's that, about 4 or 5? The lime tree that I rescued out the front is springing back. There is new growth, tiny weeny new growth on him. Very excited by that. He's saved. Unlike the blood orange, which I used to replace said lime, who has now died. I did the great circle of life here in Andy's yard. The lemonade tree's gone really well. I got about 6 lemonades off him, and there's one still there. So that's a cross between a couple of different lemon types. And it makes quite a sweet eating lemon. It really, really is good. Bloody gooseberry's back. You might recall I'd cut the guts out of that. I dropped it to just a little stick. Well, it's back. I've got some cabbages in. It's cabbage time over here. A couple of snow peas in there as well. You can see there the shallots that I cut the top off when I use a shallot and shove it in the ground. Most of those survive and do quite well. Have a look at that Egyptian spinach behind. It's still going crazy. There's the other pomegranate. It's going quite well. Hasn't lost its leaves. Bloody Egyptian spinach. I tell you what, it's going fabulous. If you wanted something that's hardy, certainly in a subtropical temperature, yep, that's the way to go. You can see there's more tomatoes down there. That one must be just about done. He's given me quite a few little cherry tomatoes. Now this is the bed that you will recall I took a cherry tomato off once, took a bite and damn near died on film. It was great. That was the nitrogen deficiency. You can see that issue has now been solved. In fact, if you look up at the arbour, isn't that magnificent? White roses, that's an iceberg climber. He's gone berserk. It wouldn't even, I don't reckon that's been in for 12 months. It's crazy. King Kong's going quite well. It'll die back soon. It doesn't like winter. So I might do a big harvest. One of the trees, oh look, there's a flower. That's a King Kong flower. And right beside it there is mint. It's also in this bed. It was going crazy, but for some reason it's died back a bit. I think that one's the rice paddy plant. You can see it's going pretty well. It's just a little edible green as well. There's the fish. It's coming up to winter, of course, so once it does get cold, I have a heater, which should be in there, I think, that I'll be shoving back in the tank, keep the boys warm over winter, so that they, if I can keep them eating a little bit, I'll know they're probably still growing, which is always gooseberry coming up out of the side of the compost bin. Can you believe it? Now the other thing is the damn yakon. That big thing there is a yakon. It's such a shame you can't see his flower. Has a flower that looks a lot like a miniature tiny weeny sunflower when it comes out. But the tuber bed's going alright. I got a couple of sweet potatoes I bandicooted out of there the other day. Got quite a bit of self-seeded rocket come up in this front bed, which I'm really pleased about. So that's been a lesson for me that I'll happily share. If things go to seed, let them do it. Just let the seeds fall around the place. That's all good. The kumquats are so confused by the weather, they're actually producing a second or third crop, which is a bit crazy, but I'll use that for beer. We're our building site. Oh God. In the continuing saga, we have the roses have done very well and put on a lovely show. There is the dead blood orange. No, it's not deciduous, it's dead, I think. And I don't even think I'll pull him out and have a go at saving that one. Too far gone. The mulberry should lose its leaves soon. It's actually probably doubled in height this season, which is great. That thing over there is an ornamental. You can see it's struggling like a struggling thing. Nothing, you know, it just loses water far too fast out here. Anything that likes a bit of water is gonna croak. Oddly enough, on the same note, have a look at that damn sugarcane. It loves it. I don't know what is so special about that spot as far as sugarcane's concerned, but that's getting pretty close to being harvestable. Certainly the purple one on the left, I reckon I'll do him in the next few days. Just on the side of the house here, near the garage, that's a volunteer pawpaw. I've left him come up. And there's actually another one further down. If I can swing around the corner, you probably see the leaves right up the top there. That's another volunteer pawpaw. That's why I wasn't worried that I'd killed Rozzie's one up the little dog's side. So, no, they're not actually killing each other. They're wrestling. What makes me laugh is Bobby gets quite gymnastic about his wrestling. You can probably tell. I suppose a bloke should be worried that they're doing that on his front entry carpet, but anyway. Unbelievable. That's my boys. That's what keeps me going. But anyway, on that cheery note, oh, there they go. On that cheery note, look at that bloody dogs. I'll let you go, folks. I hope you have a good one, and we'll catch up next time, eh?